So I really like innovation. And today's video is really about innovation. Okay, it's about a lantern, but that lantern is very innovative, okay? It's an innovative lantern, that's all I'm saying. I actually did a video like this a couple of years ago. Well, in that video, the light was just a bag with a light connected to it. You opened up the bag, you filled it full of salt water, and it made the light work. It was actually pretty cool. And man, that thing worked a long time. The only problem was that light was disposable. On that same video, I had some other lights, and they were like little tiny flashlights, and you just dip those things in the water, and they worked. They worked using water only. You gotta admit, that's pretty cool. Today's video is even more innovative, and you'll see. You'll see. This light right here, well, it just shows you how much more innovative they've got with their design. Because this light also runs off of water. Well, water and salt. It runs off of water and it runs off of salt. When you buy it, they give you 2 bags of electrolyte powder, which I really don't know what all's in here, but my best guess is salt. Probably, since it's a water light. And you know, salt's an electrolyte, so that makes sense. But the reason I say this is innovative, it's the same exact design. Just like right here, it has a holding tank built into it. You can see down in there into the holding tank. So this spout is just here to make it easier to fill up. But it's got a little latch right here, and it's got a latch on the other side. And if you take these latches loose, then you can take the whole top off of this thing. And you see these plates right here. These plates is what produces the energy, or should I say electricity. And honestly, they just look like aluminum plates. I mean, they could be made out of something else, I'm not sure, but they sure do look like aluminum.
Aluminium.
Because of people like you, there is global warming. Because people like you give people like me too much stress. And when I get too much stress, what do I release? More carbon dioxide into the atmosphere.
You know, plus they're really light. Down in there, you have your holding tank. It has like a silicone seal that seals the top, and you can take it off. And these holding tanks, they can be cleaned out. Because like I said, this is a reusable light. I mean, you can clean this thing out after you use it, and you can keep using it over and over again. Now you can see on the bottom of this lid, it says positive right there, and it has a negative sign. It also has a negative sign on the other side. And these metal plates or your energy block can be replaced. Or at least on the instructions, it shows you how to replace the energy block. That's what it calls it, energy block. This is a lamp that makes its own power. No charging, no plugs. What you need, 2 metal plates included, salt, water, and special electrolyte powder included. But like I said, this thing runs off of just salt water too. I don't know if there's something special in this solution or if it's just a bunch of salt. But we're going to find out, because I'm going to test this thing with everything that you can run in it. Because it also has other liquids you can use in the instructions. Salt water, 1 to 10% salt. Seawater, add extra salt. The reason it's telling you to add extra salt with seawater is because if you Google it, seawater has about 3% salt in it. And under salt water, it says 1 to 10%. So ideally, I guess you want about 10% salt. It also says you can use sports drinks or soy sauce if salty enough. Gatorade would probably work just fine. It also says soda or lake water, only in emergencies. Now, just call it common sense, but I'm thinking that lake water is probably more corrosive and dirty. And you know soda is going to be very corrosive, because soda's full of something that'll clean battery cables, so it's pretty corrosive too. Oh, and just another tip, it says don't mix different liquids together. Clean lamp before switching liquids. It also says don't drink it or touch your eyes. And I don't think nobody's planning on drinking salt water.
This is how to make your salt at home taste better and give it a little more flavor. So what I do is I just pour a little bit of salt that I have in a big container, and then I take some table salt, and all you're gonna do is just put a couple little dashes of it in there like that, not too much. And what this is gonna do is when the flavors combine, it's gonna give it a really nice zest, and it's gonna taste great on whatever you put it on.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
The charging speed says with electrolytes fast, with salt water slow. 6 to 4 hours. So evidently this does provide more power. I mean, we'll see which one's stronger when we try different liquids, because the brightness of the light should tell us a lot. Something else I noticed is probably important. It says always keep the liquid level high enough to cover the plates. And if you're not using your lamp for a couple hours, pour out the electrolyte solution to save it and avoid wasting the plates. For best use, clean lamp and store and dry when not using. Okay, I'm ready to use this thing. This bag of electrolyte powder has a water line in it. So I'm guessing we just fill the water up to this line right here and mix it up good. As you can see, I got these filled up to the water line. And if you let them set just a little bit, it dissolves down pretty good. And it even turns a different color. By the way, I did use warm water. I put it in a stainless steel cup and brought it down here. That way it would stay warm. I figured warm water would dissolve the electrolyte solution better. I think. I don't know. You can see how light this stuff starts out before you add the water, and then look at how dark it gets. I'm letting it dissolve down. I don't know, kind of looks like battery acid, don't it? Because I mean, that's all you're making is a big old battery. You got your aluminum plates on the inside, then you're adding the acid to eat those plates, and it's producing electricity. That's the same way a lead acid battery works. I mean, if you look at the inside of a battery, it's just got lead plates in it and it's filled with acid. The acid eats the plates and produces electricity. This light is a light, and you can use it for a light. Like I said before, I've had different lights like this over the years and tried them out. But what makes this one different, it actually has USB ports. So you can charge your phone or maybe run a different little light off of it, because it's actually turning into a battery. And that's just different right there. So technically, we're getting ready to make us a battery by pouring our solution in it. Anyway, next, we'll fill this up. I imagine it's going to be easier to fill up with this top on. So this light come on while I was filling it up. And it's actually pretty bright. I mean, it's small, but it's bright. Oh, and there's a light on both sides. Light on that side, and there's a light on this side. But to save it, I guess you can cut it off. It has a little switch made right there on the top. You can cut it on or off. I mean, that's pretty cool. Look at the lights out in here and see how bright this thing is. It's pretty dang bright. It ain't the brightest light I've ever seen, but it's a light. I mean, the higher you set it up, the better you can see with it. This would work in an emergency. Like if there was a hurricane or something, or you could put one of these in your car. I mean, just in case you need it. I mean, it'd surely be better than nothing, you know? I'm not sure how many lumens it is, but it is the brightest water light I've ever seen. It's kind of cool. Alright, so I wanted to try the USB to see if it works. And I cut the light off to give it more power. I got some camera batteries that needs charging, and it's charging them. Since I plugged it up, it actually went up a bar. That's pretty cool. So now I have a GoPro hooked to it, and as you can see, there's no battery in it. And it won't run because I also don't have a cord in it, but I want to see if it'll run off of this water light. Yep, it'll run a GoPro. Like I said, I don't have a cord in it, so it ain't gonna stay on. But it'll run a GoPro without a battery. Now this GoPro does have a battery, and I plugged it in to see if it would charge it, and it is charging. Both lights are on, so it's charging the battery. And they also just make lights like this, you know, water lights. And this happens to be the same brand as the other one, but there's more than one company that makes these. Like, I've seen a couple of different kinds of lanterns. I've seen flashlights that run off water, and you can find most of the stuff on Amazon. Like I said, this is just a light. What makes the other one interesting is that you can use it for a power source. Like you can charge your phones or your cameras. This one is just a light, and you can see it next to my hand. It's a whole lot smaller. Let's put some salt solution in this small one and see how bright it is. As you can see, this one is threaded and it just screws apart. Once you get it apart, it has the plates in it that makes the power. It's smooth all the way around, but you see this little notch right here? This is how full you fill it up, because you don't want to overfill these things, because like I said, you're going to be sticking this plate back down in there and it's just going to make it go everywhere and it's going to be a mess. So I'm going to put a little bit of this liquid in here until it gets up to the top of that line right there, which that should be close. Then we're going to stick our plates down there. You can cut it on and off right there on the top. Let's cut the light out and see if it's bright at all. This thing actually works pretty good. You can see the ceiling really good with it anyway. It's actually a lot brighter than I thought it was going to be. I've actually had these lights a while, and what got me to thinking about them, I was like, I need to do a video, is that last year at this time, in other words, September of 2024, that's when Hurricane Helene hit us, and we lost our power for over a week here. Some people had a lot worse than us. Now, something like that is where this thing's going to come in really, really handy, is in an emergency situation. I really wish this one would charge your phone and stuff. This little light's pretty cool. And like I said before, we're going to see if it'll run on more than just the salt solution that it comes with. Even though I just filled this up, I'm going to pour this out and we're going to just put regular salt water in and see if it works. Okay, so now we're going to do another little test. According to the instructions that come with these lights, it says you can use just salt water. It don't really look like it now, but it did before, but there's a lot of salt in this water right here. That's plain water. That's my salt water mix. And reading the instructions, I would say you probably need about 10% salt at least. Something else that's supposed to work is soy sauce, which if you read the back of the soy sauce, this stuff is loaded with salt. It says 48% salt or 1,110 milligrams of sodium. So I think this would work. Is it practical? I mean, in an emergency, are you going to have a bottle of soy sauce? Maybe, but I'm still going to see if it works. And it says that sports drinks work. And looking at the back of a sports drink, it's 17% sodium. So it might work. So first, we're going to put our salt water in here and see if this salt water works. I got the salt water in it. It works. It does work with just salt water. I'm gonna go see if it's just as bright. I don't know. To me, it looks about as bright as it did before. I mean, it's working with just salt water. That's cool. Okay, so next, we're gonna try this Gatorade in there. I'm gonna pour some of this Gatorade on it. Now we're gonna see if this Gatorade works. I'm gonna try to turn it on. It's working. It don't look as bright. Yeah, this one, it's just not as bright. This is nowhere near as bright as the salt water. Now you could add some salt to this just like I did the water and make it stronger. I'm thinking maybe Gatorade don't have enough sodium in it, but it says in the instructions that come with it not to mix liquids. I have been rinsing these plates off in between liquids, so don't mix your liquids, just add some salt to your Gatorade, which I doubt anybody's gonna be using Gatorade anyway. I mean, when you can just put salt and water, that's a lot simpler. Now we're gonna try soy sauce. We're gonna pour some in our cup. Try not to overfill it. Now we got our soy sauce in there and cut the light on. That looks a lot brighter. I mean, a lot brighter than the Gatorade. Let's cut off the light and see. Oh yeah, that's a lot brighter than the Gatorade. The salt water, I thought it was gonna be the best, but I don't know. That soy sauce must be full of salt. This a lot brighter with that soy sauce in it. Well, there you have it. Different fuels for our water light. I kind of think the soy sauce worked the best, but that's an easy solution to fix. All I gotta do is add some more salt to my water. And I mean, salt's cheap. So if I ever need this for an emergency, I would just put more salt in my water or just use the solution that come with it because it worked pretty good too. But you're gonna have to buy this stuff, and salt water is pretty cheap. I mean, let's admit it, salt water is pretty cheap. Now, something else I thought was interesting, this small light, it says up to 200 hours of continuous lighting with salt water. Perfect for home use, camping, and emergency lighting. On the first video where I had the water light, I remember after I started it, it sat right over here on this barrel and it ran for days. It seemed like a week that thing run without stopping before it ever quit. Oh yeah, by the way, if you seen my last video, then you know what this is. It's a water light. This thing was supposed to run 140 hours. So after I started it, I just set it over here. Well, that was Thursday of last week. And this is Friday of the next week. So this thing's done run like 8 days. That's freaking crazy. And it don't look like it's getting dim either. That's freaking crazy. I finally emptied it out and threw it away. Okay, so what's the conclusion of this video? In other words, would I buy this light again? Maybe. I mean, it really depends on what you're going to do with it, right? If you want this for an emergency light, 100% buy the light, because this would be great for emergencies. But I mean, if you was buying one just to go fishing with, it'd probably be a lot easier to get a rechargeable light. Kind of like the one I had on my last video. That was a cool lantern. I mean, it was rechargeable. It lasted a long time. It did all kinds of stuff. Or I did a Harbor Freight video a couple years ago. Harbor Freight has a lantern that's basically just a stream light, except for it's a lot cheaper than a stream light. And that lantern, you could even hide your money in the bottom of that lantern. I'm just saying. This bottom here comes off. When you do take the bottom off, you can store the cord inside of it. That's actually pretty convenient. I'm gonna tell you something else you can store in it. You could keep your money in here. That way, if you're out bank fishing and somebody tries to rob you, your money's hid in your lantern. I'm just saying. You know I'm kidding. If somebody tries to rob you and you're bank fishing, the best thing to do is...
I started blasting. Bang! Wow. Bang! Then they ran away. I ran after them.
Okay.
Bang! Try to shoot them in the back.
Hide your money. I'm just saying. But, like I said, if you want a light for an emergency, I don't think you're going to do much better than this, because in an emergency, you're going to have a way to charge a lantern, and this light runs off of water, so... Is it the most convenient light in the world? Probably not. But if you ain't got no way to charge your light, get you a water light. You know what I'm saying? The ones that I had, I mean, this is the name right here. This is the name right here. You see it? Because I ain't very good at pronouncing stuff anyway, and I ain't trying to pronounce that name. I'm just saying. So if you want one just like the one I showed, that's it. But I'll leave some Amazon links that you can look up, because there's a lot of lights that do this. There's lanterns, there's flashlights, there's several lights that run for water now. And I mean, it's kind of interesting, especially for emergencies. I actually done a power outage video that's about emergencies. If you want to learn some more tips and tricks about emergencies, that'd be a good video to go watch. Or you could go watch the Harbor Freight video that lantern's on. Anyway, go watch one of them, because this video is over.